Hey everyone, what's up? I'm just gonna wait and see if everything is going through correctly. I'm having a few technical difficulties tonight. My computer was not working right before. So as soon as I know I'm live, then we can chat. All right. I feel like I can see me. Awesome. Thank you, TT1. All right, let me say hello to everybody. Oh, Canadian, thanks for stopping by. I don't, you're probably not still here anymore, but thanks for stopping by. Hello, my brother Kevin. Hey, Sherry. Billy. Hey, Matt. What else we got? I know I saw a couple of other people. Hey, Teresa. Yeah, it's YouTube Mind Games. I don't know what they're doing. I hate it. Everybody's name is squishied, and people don't have the right names. I don't understand what they're doing. Some chats have it, others don't. I don't understand. Look, and my name is normal, so I don't know why. Hey, KP. TT1. Finally, YouTube did something right? Let's see. Hey, Casey. Hey, prepping artist. How you doing? Half-ass ready. Nice to see you. If I missed you, it's totally not on purpose. Hey, Prepper Book Club. Hey, Stray Kitten. Katrinka. Thank you. All right, I think I'm at the bottom. If I missed a comment that you guys put in for me, just put it back again because I wasn't reading the comments. I was just trying to say hello. All right, let me just get my disclaimer out of the way. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist of any way whatsoever. Hey, Anthony. I am just somebody who's been there and done that. And rural, you're in my seat. Hey, Huckleberry. Drive safely, please. Uh, so please do not take any of this as medical advice at all. So anyway, tonight, I figured, hey, Dusty, I wanted to talk about anger because I feel like everybody, this whole world has got really angry. And I'm not going to talk about why or anything, or what I think it might be. That's for, other discussions, other rabbit holes, other channels. It's just the fact that it is. And anger is um really close to panic because your body reacts the same way in a lot, like it has a lot of similarities to it. So anger, so panic, you'll get high blood pressure. Your blood pressure will go up. You can get the shakes, you can get the rapid heartbeat, the heavy breathing, the sudden surge of emotion. And anger is the same thing. I mean, it's got some differences to it too, but like the panic attacks, the fear comes with it, where the anger comes the aggression with it. So people being so angry these days, how do you tell, if your anger is turning into panic attacks or panic attacks are turning into anger? Because you can have the same triggers for them too. Things that set you off for panic can actually set you off for anger. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to explain it. You all know I suck at words and I babble incoherently. So if I start doing that, just shut me up or don't listen to me anymore. Turn on some music while I'm just kind of yapping away. So let me see if I can get my thoughts together. Nope, I can't. I've got total squirrel. I'm angry that everybody is so angry. Yes. Okay. So all right. So when you get angry and you get the surge of emotion and you get the rapid heartbeats and everything else, has anybody ever gotten really angry that they start to shake and, and it kind of sets off a panic attack? I know I have because because my heart is beating so fast. I'm afraid I am going to give myself a stroke or or a heart attack or something. So that anger actually sets off panic attacks for me. Now, with everybody fighting, I figured let's talk about CTT when you get it. So, I'll get the shakes and, and I have to, yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, so you can do a lot of the same techniques for panic attack as you can with anger. So deep breathing. I mean, it's definitely breaks ashtray. Yeah, I mean, you can break things as long as, it's safe to do so. But deep breathing definitely helps. One of the differences is how you talk to yourself, panic attack versus anger. So with panic, you're telling yourself, I've been here before. I know this is a panic attack. We've got through it before. You change your what ifs into so whats. And with anger, you want to do more of a why am I so angry? Let's calm down. Let's do the breathing. Yes. There's a couple of different breathing exercises. Katrinka did a video on it. There's a couple. Hey, Michigan Outpost, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, YouTube Mind Games. I don't know who half of these people are, so it's when I go to other chats, I know who everybody is in my chat, but I go to other chats and I'm like, I don't know who you are until you tell me. So you're gonna do the same. You're gonna talk to yourself, and you're gonna ask yourself why are you getting so angry, and is it warranted? And I feel like a couple of people have done some videos on this and how the world is just getting angrier and angrier. And I thought maybe we could, since it is related to panic and we already have techniques to try to help us with panic attacks, we can apply those same things to the anger and try to, you know, not only diffuse us, but diffuse different situations because, you don't want other people angry either. I mean, it makes for a yicky environment, if that makes any sense. Yeah, absolutely. When you have time to stop and think, that's when the anxiety hits because you start with the what ifs well, what about this and the what about this and you can't same stray kitten. Same. So anyway, I have this whole thing planned out today and I am completely, I don't know. It's not a good night for my brain apparently because I'm all over the place tonight. All right, so I'm going to read some of my notes because I actually made them and see if I can get back on track a little bit. And of course, drink the coffee because that helps. Okay, so how do you know if you're turning your panic attacks into anger attacks? They're actually called anger attacks. I didn't know this. I actually looked this up before. All right, good. So you get me, Kev. Oh, you're sweet, Katrinka. Thank you. Hmm. So do they turn into panic attacks for you, or do you know, or can you like keep the, because sometimes they say, they can be totally separate. Anger is totally different than panic. But people who are prone to panic attacks can be more prone to anger attacks and vice versa. Angry people can turn their anger into panic attacks just because the symptoms are so similar, and that sudden, surge of emotion that goes through you. And then, it really depends on how you talk to yourself. So, well, I do moral, but you keep getting in my seat, and I, I don't know what to do about that. All right. All right. So I'm going to, how do you combat your anger attacks? Definitely taking a time out. I know they use that for little kids, but taking a time out, walking away from a situation, definitely, counting to 10. These are all like real things that really actually work. Okay. So do you have the triggers different, completely different triggers? See, this is what I get for trying to branch out and go for something that I don't really talk about too often, or talk about really at all. I don't. I mean, I think most people have had like anger attacks, but it's a situational thing. It's not something like I suffer from, or, it's for me, when I've had them, they turned into panic attacks because of the symptoms that are the same. I don't like getting myself that angry. I actually try to talk myself out of it, and I can do it a lot better than I can with panic attacks, or at least where I used to have panic attacks like that. I have gotten to the point now where I can say I'm just having a panic attack, and I can move on with my life. But, back in the day, there was no talking me out of my panic attacks. Yeah, you know what? I think they're making up, terms for all of these things that are happening. I don't necessarily know that they're anger attacks. I think the world has just gone crazy, honestly. And I think they needed a term for it, and this is what they came up with. I don't know. It might have been around for years that I just never really heard of, but I was doing a little bit of research into it because I'm I'm trying to de-escalate the world. It's not working very well. But I started doing a lot of research into it, and they actually called it, anger attacks. So, but yeah, I think they just need terms for this stuff because as I said, I don't want to get into the why I think people are getting the way they are, or, any of those rabbit holes, because that's not on this, that's not for this channel. That's, we have a ton of other channels we can go down rabbit holes with, but hey, Mike, drive safely. We're living in yeah, I mean, and this is why I wanted to kind of talk about it. A couple of people have done some, you know, so, some videos on, just the world is getting angrier and angrier. And I just, I, because it can be so related to panic. As I said, it can be completely separate too, but it definitely can be related to panic. Running angry. Oh. I was very angry as a young man, but meditation techniques have become pretty. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean, for long term, there's a ton of different techniques you can use for long term. I was just talking about the short term, at the moment, but I mean, a ton of things you could do for long term. I mean, if you're bad, definitely go see a therapist. Anger or panic, either one is not something that you want to, keep living with and try to deal with yourself if you're not able to. I mean, if you are, wonderful. There's a gazillion people out there who can work things out for themselves and then they just, move on. I was not one of them, unfortunately. But long term things, meditation is a really good one. Some people like to do physical activity. Some people do it with diet. Some people do it with medication. You all know me. I am not the medication person, but I won't knock it for other people. I just think that anything natural, my personal feeling, if it's a natural occurrence, there's a natural cure. I I don't want to put extra drugs in my system or chemicals in my system that don't belong there. But I completely understand the use of that some people need them. So please don't get that wrong and ever think I'm knocking them. Hey, Chima. Great to see you. I haven't seen you in forever. Oop. On Wednesday, I do my second. Oh, that's great. That's fabulous. Had the first one went good, I'm assuming, since you're going back for a second one. Sorry, I'm just, uh, I read that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm really glad you're doing it. That's wonderful. If I'll put the link up at the top if anybody, ever wants to come up and hang out, talk about things. I am I'm always thanks for stopping in, half-ass ready. All right, so you know what? Let's get back to subjects I know a little bit better because I'm just up here babbling my incoherently again. So last week we touched on very, very little triggers and what sets people off. Does anybody know like what their triggers are and either know how to avoid them or to deal with them? Or do you know like just why you have had, do you know if you have a panic attack, do you know where it came from, like what you might be panicking about? in the like now, like all of a sudden, okay, I'm having a panic attack. Do you know what's causing it, or do they kind of come out of the blue at you and you have no reason for it whatsoever? If that makes sense. Because I know where mine came from. I think that's most of us these days. Okay. Do I mean, you don't have to share. I'm not going to ask you to if you are not comfortable to do that. But do you know how to avoid it? Is it like is it a situation, a person? I'm out of the blue. Do you know what you're thinking at the moment that they come out? Like, what is it? Um, is it, does that make sense? Like, what are you thinking about when your panic attack hits? You're funny. Yeah, how is Rambo doing? Bingo. All right, I totally missed something there. It's funny. I could be in bed watching TV and all of a sudden I get one. Have you ever noticed if that particular day or that let's say within, the last couple of days, something very stressful has gotten to you, or like have you ever kept a diary of saying like, okay, this is what I did. Hey Pam, how you doing? A diary of say like things that might have upset you or things that might have gotten to you. Is it a TV show that could be stressing you out? Is it that's maybe reminding you of something? Anger, anxiety, and anger separate feelings for me. Anxiety from stress and worrying about something, anger and emotion. Yes. Yeah, as I said, a lot of people, they have them separate, but they could go hand in hand too, because one could feed into the other. When you have a panic attack, some people, not everybody, can um can blame people for their anxiety. Like I'm just like trying to come up with odd examples. This person was a trigger for me. He came up and I don't know, started talking about something that was one of my triggers. Well, now that set off a panic attack, and that panic attack I am blaming him for because he set off my triggers. So now I'm angry at him. So now I'm having an anger attack on top of a panic attack. Does that make sense? Triggers or cabinets or things being slammed. Well, yeah, X is in court. Yeah, Teresa, I'm with you. I've been down that road, and it's not. I mean, that's a situation. Things being slammed. That I don't know. That doesn't. A lot of people are very sensitive to loud, quick noises like that. But yeah, the X and the corp thing. That's. Mm-hmm. I got over panic 6 years ago because I wouldn't pay them any attention. That's what cured. Till recently, when some people treating me badly reminded me of my ex. Oh wow, that's see a great way to do that to get over them is to not give them any attention. That my problem is, and I believe they call it phobophobia, or where you actually have the fear of having panic attacks, and that's what happened to me. My overactive brain went, well, I had a panic attack once, so why would I not keep having them? It's going to happen because it happened once. Yeah, they can really do it to you. I mean, I don't want to call it like mental abuse, but I'm not coming up with the right words. But it can be very traumatizing for a lot of people, and people don't take that seriously. Mental anguish, is that the right word? I don't know. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna probably gonna cut this one a little short. I'm having hot flashes. This is my new thing. You want to talk about setting off panic attacks? Um, at first I thought they were actually panic attacks, and then I realized I was having these horrible hot flashes because, well, I'm old apparently. Aw, that's nice, Kev. It's really, you got to talk to yourself. Yes, exactly. And always in flight or fight mode, and that sets off some serious panic attacks. Stress definitely is it, it's probably the biggest contributor to either panic or anger. It's yeah. Well, that and the other, if you are a if you are a sorry, I was reading Billy's comment. If you're an overthinker, that will also make you super, super tired because your brain just wants to shut down. At least this is how they explained it to me, because the more I would panic, the more I would, just want to sleep, and I would do nothing but sleep. And they said, that's you just thinking about, you're worrying constantly. Your brain just can't handle it. It's like overload, and it shuts it down. So yeah, I mean, maybe that is more of the medical term for it. And they just gave it to me in levels I could understand back then, or words I could understand back then. My son has got so much pressure on him from school. I tell him constantly be kind. Yeah, that's really important. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I know. And you know what? It sounds silly, but it really, talking to yourself is one of the most important things on how you talk to yourself. If you tell yourself things are going to be bad, it's going to be bad. If you tell yourself that, things are going to be okay, things are going to be okay. I mean, no, you can't talk yourself out of every situation, but 99% of them you can. Okay. You need a joke. I can give you a dad joke. So, let's see. I need a good one. I need a good one for here. I could give the old horse walks into a bar and the bartender says, "Why the long face?" Mm-hmm. Yep. 100% with you, Teresa. Kevin is a really good listener. Can sleep for more than 3 hours. It was bad. Oh, okay. So you went the other way. All I did was sleep. Then I know there's a lot of people that can't sleep at all when they have anxiety and they're up. Actually, they say that's kind of like half and half. Half the people sleep and the other half are just awake. I kind of wish I was the other way. Yeah, it's terrible. It's a terrible place to be. I can't shut my brain down. Anyone needs a list of answers, I can for your what ifs. No, you need to not ask the what ifs. You need to turn your what ifs into so whats. You remember when it says ouch? Termite walks into a bar, asks, "Where's the bartender?" So I'm like, if you clean out your vacuum, you become a vacuum cleaner. It was just all right. If you play the saxophone and you suck, that's probably why. All night pacing back and forth. Have you tried any sleeping, like medication, not medication, meditation techniques? A good one is rela flexing and relaxing your muscles in pieces, like your hands, your feet, in different, not all at the same time. Wow, I couldn't get that one out. Yep, mine too. That was terrible. I'm not even repeating that one. Hey, Rip Curl, how are you doing? Aw, thanks. Tonight, I'm having a little difficulty getting words out, not gonna lie. Some days I'm okay, other days not so much. All right. Well, now that I've completely probably confused the heck out of all of yous, I'm going to it's, no. Nope, not repeating that one either, Earl. That was terrible. Aw, thank you. Oh, you guys are awesome. You guys are like way too sweet, but I feel like you have to say that because I see you in other chats and you're just being really nice. But it's like I said, if anybody ever needs to chat, I always available by email. I am not the babbling idiot you see here. I actually can form complete coherent sentences when I'm not trying to talk in front of a camera. You're my brother, you have to say that. So if you guys have no other questions or comments or tips or dad jokes, I'm going to end up shutting this down. And I will see you all next week, but I'm sure I'll see you all in chats here and there. All right, so you guys, I'm honestly not. I know when I have good ones and I know when I have bad ones. And I know tonight I was very off subject because I just couldn't collect my thoughts. Last Monday I was worried about Tuesday. Your live stream helped me. Aw, that's what I was worried about. It didn't happen. Things just, oh, I'm so sorry. If, as I said, if there's anything you can, if there's anything you want to talk about, I am available by email. never feel obligated to share, anything you are not comfortable sharing. But if anybody needs to talk, I am 100% there. And I mean that. That was terrible. Can be very hard to overcome. I even struggle with it from time to time. It makes it hard when we keep forward with a happy, simple life. It really does. Like I said, I've been on both sides of the coin. I had a friend back in high school, I tell you this all the time, who had very bad panic attacks, and I had no idea what that those meant. He couldn't do things, and I didn't understand it. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? You just can't do it. You can't handle it. We're going up to the store. Like, yeah, and he'd be like, nah, I just can't do it. So I understand, the other side of it where people are like, what do you mean? You know, just do it. Just calm down. Just don't be afraid. Just do what you got to do and don't think about it. It's really not that easy. And, anybody who doesn't suffer from it, can't understand. There's a lot of people, husbands and wives who, one will suffer from it and the other one's like, I don't even know what to do, but at least I could understand when, because, my husband never suffered from any of these. So when he's like, yeah, I don't get it. He's learned how to deal with me, over the years. But, for a while, he was just like, I don't get it. And I understood where he was coming from. So it actually helped me to have that friend. Aw, thanks. You know what? I figure if I could at least get the subject out there and people know that they're not alone, and, I feel like that's half of it, because so many people don't want to talk about it because they feel like, they're embarrassed for it or nobody else will, get it. There's so many people who suffer from it these days that you know, you could be like, hey, I'm having a panic attack. And people are like, all right, gotcha. We'll leave you alone or whatever. Do you want a glass of water or whatever they do? Some people don't know, what to say, but they understand what that means. Back in, 20 years ago, you'd be like, I'm having a panic attack. And people would be like, what does that mean? So, I feel like, people really need to know that there's other people out there and there is help out there. And there's a ton of therapists out there, some really good ones and some really crappy ones. So if you guys ever, need to actually talk to like a real actual therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist or ever need medication or whatever, feel them out first. Find somebody who works for you because not every therapist is going to be good for somebody, like not every, it's not a good match for everybody, this one and this one. They might be a great therapist, but maybe not for you. So never be afraid to look for somebody who understands your needs. I had a great one who only dealt with therapy. She was a, a social worker, I want to say. And, she went through years of agoraphobia. Hey, JS Genesis. Years of agoraphobia. So when she would talk to me, she would say, she would know how I was feeling because she went through it. So that was what I needed. I needed somebody who knew what I was talking about. And when I would come up with these weird, out of the blue thoughts, she would go, yes, I understand what that means because I had the same types of things, or I had these thoughts that nobody else understood because my brain didn't work the same. Hey, Gnostic Nomad, how are you doing? Yeah, and people think, oh, I go and pick a therapist and they don't really help me. Then don't keep going to that one. Find one that you do like. Just because, you found, one that was crappy or crappy for you does not mean you cannot go shop around. And therapists know this. They know that you need a good fit. So, but yeah, that's my biggest goal here is to get people talking about it. I feel like the more you talk about it, the more you take away its power. If you give a voice to something, it helps take away power. When they tell you, write things down, get things out, it's true for panic too. You got to get them things out. And if people aren't talking about it and they're holding it all in, I understand that too. Yeah, they should be able to have, free. I mean, it should be scrolling at the bottom of my screen. If you ever feel, um, like really overwhelmed, one, you could always go to an emergency room. But second, you can call 8988 and they have people you can talk to, and that doesn't cost anything. Uh, I don't know if you have somebody, in your circle you can talk to, or as I said, I am always available by email if you want to talk. Find somebody you're comfortable talking with, and definitely get it out. Talking about stuff usually just makes it worse anyway. All right, I'm not a doctor, so don't take this as medical advice, but I feel like, again, my opinion, you're going to feel worse when you talk about it because you're bringing up all those feelings now. But until you do and let them go, it's not going to get any better for you. Again, that's not medical advice. That's a personal opinion. Don't take that as medical advice. Hey, Blackbird. And Kevin is completely free of charge. If there's somebody you trust to talk to, definitely talk to them. If you do not feel comfortable talking to a specific person, do not speak to them. Never let anybody tell you you have to talk about things. You do it in your own time, at your own pace, when you're ready and when you feel comfortable. But I do feel like when you're talking about things, if you're talking about the right things, it will make you feel worse at the moment. Again, just my opinion. I understand that too. As I said, if you ever, need, I'm here. Call that line if you ever get overwhelmed. All right. I am going to shut this down, I think. And thank you guys all for coming to hang out with me and all your kind words. I will, I'm sure I will see you guys in other chats. You guys all have a great night. And if you need my email address and you don't have it, leave a comment under the video. I will give it to you, and then I'll get rid of it after. I just don't want it out for, the whole world to see. All right. Good night, everybody.